So good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I have the wonderful opportunity to be able to interview this fabulous cruise director, Lewis, on board this fantastic Celebrity Equinox. This doesn't happen very often, so I'm just excited to have the opportunity to do it. So we'll go ahead and get started.
Absolutely.
Obviously, you can hear from his accent, he's from Great Britain, right?
I am, yeah. I'm from London, England. I actually live in Florida now, though. So I live in Pompano Beach in Florida, just north of Fort Lauderdale. I've lived in the US for quite some time, been coming backwards and forwards for the last 15 years. So I decided to eventually call it home. But I've still got all my family back in the UK. So yeah, really grateful to be in the US and grateful to be here on the Equinox.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So we'll just go ahead and get started with some questions. So we'll start off easy.
Yep.
What's your favorite port?
My favourite port, I'm going to say, having the opportunity to travel the world has been an incredible thing. Obviously, being on the ships, going from port to port, each and every single cruise. But I have to say, my favourite port is Fort Lauderdale because it gives me the opportunity to go home at the end of every voyage.
Yeah.
So to have that, to go and see my wife, especially now, because we're expecting our first child in November.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so I'm super excited. But it gives me the opportunity to stay in touch with everything that's happening back home. So I'm going to say, yeah, Fort Lauderdale.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Home has always got to be your favorite
Home
port,
is
right?
always where the heart is, yeah. Especially when you work away so much.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously you're on the Equinox.
Yep.
I'm curious, which of the other ships that you've been a cruise director on, or even that you've sailed on, what's your favorite ship?
So my favourite ship is really difficult to answer, but to look at the ship itself, I suppose the hardware and everything, it's got to be the Celebrity Edge. I have worked on the Solstice class and I've also worked on the Millennium class ships. But Celebrity Edge, I will always have fond memories of it. The ship itself, the hardware, the layout. I haven't had the opportunity to go on the Apex or the Beyond yet. So hopefully one day soon I'll get the opportunity to be over there and sailing on those. But yeah, Celebrity Edge I think is my favourite.
Yeah, this is only my second time on Celebrity Cruise Lines, and my first time was on the Edge.
Yep.
And that was just an incredible ship.
It really is beautiful. The layout is lovely. The decor, it's very modern. It stands for exactly what we are as a brand. Is a a luxury hotel resort at sea, and that really does, the Edge class really does set us apart with regards to following that as a brand.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, I can tell this is Celebrity, like the brand, but in terms of the Edge, just the modernization of it, it's just top notch.
Absolutely.
Incredible.
And they've improved every single Edge class ship that they've taken out. So now we've got the Edge. It was number one. It was December 2018. Right. And then all of a sudden you've got the Apex was next in line. That's had some modernization of that compared to the Edge, and then the Beyond is different again with the deck and the layouts there. So they've continued to improve every step of the way, and I'm sure there's going to be some touches as well on the Ascent that's coming.
Yeah. Speaking of the Ascent, do you think you might be the cruise director when that
I
launches?
know that I'm not going to be.
No.
I know 100%. I don't know who it is, but only because of my personal life and the fact that I'm expecting my child. It's the same time that ship is due to launch, and you need to be on board a number of months before it even actually goes live as a ship and starts taking guests on. With the setups, the programming, getting familiar with the ship, the layout, and building the flow of everything. Right. It takes a lot of planning and preparation, so I know that I'm not going to be there because I'm expecting my family. I'm taking a little bit of an extended break at the end because my contracts are normally 4 months on and 2 months off, but on this occasion I'm working 7.5 so that I can take the extended time when the baby's due.
Oh, that's nice that they let you do that.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been great. They've been really, really good. So I absolutely love the company for that.
Awesome.
Very supportive. Yeah.
So how long have you been a cruise director for, and has it always been on Celebrity?
I've been a cruise director. I've been in the industry for 15 years. I've been a cruise director for 11 years, and I've been with Celebrity for 5.
Oh, wow.
So I've worked with a couple of other companies, which I enjoyed, but I was very grateful to be asked to come over to Celebrity at the time in 2018. I joined the ship in 2018 June. So I was very happy.
One thing that I noticed that I mean, I've been on several different cruise lines, but one thing I noticed with Celebrity is the crew is very much involved when it comes to like cruise directors and even the captain. You guys are all around the ship.
We've got a great bond with everyone. I think the way in which we look at it is we know we've got to deliver an incredible service. That's part of what we're here for. It's part of the brand that we believe in, but also the opportunity to have friendships on board. You know, I get along very, very well with the captain, and some people would always see the captain as, yes, he's the most senior person on board the ship and has an incredible responsibility, but he's still a person. But some people feel that it's intimidating to go and approach someone like that. Whereas here, we like to be very open and accessible for everyone. As officer visibility is absolutely key, so we can always make sure that you're having the best time. Unless we communicate, we don't know those answers. So,
right.
Yeah, it's important to us.
So, what's your favorite part about being a cruise director?
Oh, it's to make sure that people smile every day. I always, whenever I open a cruise in the main theatre of a night, I always say that I'll communicate through humour, laughter, and just generally trying to have a good time. There's no better feeling than knowing that when people finish a cruise, they've walked away, leaving everything that's behind in whatever life they've got outside of the ship. They've been able to come on board, put all of that behind them, enjoy themselves, take the break that they absolutely deserve and what they've come on for, and then go home happy. That's a great feeling for me. It's a rewarding feeling as a cruise director to know that you've been able to contribute towards other people's happiness.
Yeah, well, I mean, you definitely have made me laugh several times already. And if a comedian on board is ever ill, you can easily just go up there and
I've been told a few times.
for him.
I like to have fun, and enjoy myself and have fun with other people, but I expect it back. It's I do like to have a laugh. Yeah.
So one of the stories that I heard you mention is about how you were named. So obviously his name is Lewis.
Yes.
Is that a true story?
It is.
And if you want, you can tell the viewers what the name Lewis actually means.
Yeah, so I've been named Lewis, which is spelled Lewis, and it actually stands for London, where I was born in England, but then you've got England, Wales, Northern Ireland, and Scotland. So you've got the Lewis, and it makes me very British indeed. So it stands for all of the countries of the United Kingdom, making me British, and that's why I've got the name. I never thought I would ever be able to share it the way in which I can now, obviously with the guests and everyone that we travel with, 3,000 guests every single cruise. I get the opportunity to share it with people, and they're always quite impressed by it, and it was something that was given to me, obviously before I even knew I had a name, but according to my parents, it was actually a conversation between my auntie and my mother, and they were coming up with a number of different names. My dad didn't really say too much at the time, but they eventually come up with Lewis, and it was because of putting the countries of the United Kingdom together.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah,
so
it's
clever.
pretty cool. It's pretty neat. I'm blessed to have it and to be able to share it, because I know in many places they spell it Luis, they spell Louis,
right,
and Lewis. But in the UK, Lewis, you'll have the Welsh people say that it's Welsh. You'll have the Scottish say that it's Scottish, and you have the English say that it's English. And with all of it, that's how they kind of come up with the name. Well, do you know what? It's for everyone, and they're the countries of it. So we've got a piece of everything there.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what would you say is your most challenging or difficult day as a cruise director?
Challenging or most difficult day? It's a really good question. I suppose it's if something doesn't go according to plan. We're on a cruise ship, we're on a moving vessel, and things happen where it could be, let's say you're encountering bad weather and you can't get into a port. That day has already been planned naturally as if it's a port day. But then you've got to accommodate for, rather than 3,000 guests going out to enjoy themselves in the port that day, you've got to accommodate them then on board. So you need to adjust an entire schedule in a matter of an hour or so to then communicate that all those changes. So you're going to need to change musicians, you need to change celebrity activities, we need to change shows, put more entertainment on, bring people out of their rest time in order to make things happen, because you're catering for another full day at sea. So the challenges of actually making that happen in a short space of time, getting people to the venues in order to provide for everybody, that can be challenging, but it's part and parcel of the job. It's what we do. It's, you're here for a reason to have a good time, and we're here to make sure you have it. So, yeah,
Yeah,
but it is challenging because of the logistics behind it all.
Right. I can't imagine the amount of logistics that go into just changing in the whole entire day's schedule.
It's a lot because normally we plan the cruise a month in advance. So then to have to change an entire day round on the day that it's meant to be happening can be carnage. But it keeps you on your toes. Yeah, and it keeps it fresh. So there's no better feeling at the end of the night you can sit back and have a glass of wine or something and be like, wow, we done it. We done a good job there. Well done, everyone.
Give everyone
and let's
a high five.
high five, and then we move on to the next day, and hopefully nothing goes wrong, and we get people into the port that we're meant to be at. Again, it's all down to the weather, and the weather's unpredictable in so many ways, as we all know.
True. Yeah. It also probably would limit the amount of activities that you can have on the top deck.
100%. So you have to bring a lot of things inside, and then they need to be back to back, and then you need to get the flow of that, so that you're not overtopping. Yeah, lots of trivia. Bring the games indoors. Yeah. We can adapt in so many ways, but it's a case of coming together, communicating, making it happen, and then communicating with the bars, and then communicating with your food and beverage, because people need to eat and people need to be able to drink. So you open the bars earlier. There's a lot of things that go into it, not just entertainment.
So what do you miss most about being on the Edge class ship?
About the Edge class ship, what do I miss most? Well, I always had a favourite venue on the Edge, and that was Eden. We had an Eden acoustic experience there, and I really enjoy live music anyway.
Yeah.
And I think on a cruise ship, sometimes live music is somewhat overlooked, because really live music is the heart of all of your programming, because they keep the energy, the vibe, and certainly keep the continuous flow. So there's always something going on, giving everyone an option. You can't always have an activity, you can't always have a main theatre performance running back to back, but you can very strategically place your music in the right places at the right time in order to create that energy. So for me, I absolutely loved the Eden experience, because you've got the restaurant down below, but you've also got the Eden acoustic experience, which is the live musicians that play back to back throughout the night, and every single night there's a different theme. And I loved the fact that I could finish in the theatre or finish other activities that are happening around the ship, and mainly my last part of the evening would be just to go and sit, and I'd normally sit and have a glass of wine or a drink and just listen to the talented musicians that play there, and just unwind a little bit before relaxing, heading to bed, and then getting ready for another day. So yeah, I love the Edge class ships. I really enjoy the magic carpet. I think that's a great engineering side of things. I think it's brilliant. But Eden was my favourite little venue that I personally enjoyed.
I like Eden as the venue, but also that restaurant.
The restaurant is
probably one of the best restaurants I've ever eaten at.
Yeah, it's pretty phenomenal. The food there, the service from the team.
Yeah.
To have it so that it's all inclusive of everything. You've got a nice balance of music whilst having your food. Yeah, it's pretty impressive, and that menu is superb. That the rice, the truffle mushroom type rice or whatever it is was stunning. Anyway, check it out if you go.
Yeah. Check out my other video. You'll see some shots and video of Eden.
Oh, there you go.
This is incredible.
Perfect.
But speaking of live music, one thing that I notice that Royal Caribbean as a group does amazing is really focus on live music.
Yeah.
You go on Norwegian, it's a track. You know, in their production shows, it's a track. You go on Carnival, it's a track.
Yep.
But Royal Caribbean as a whole, I really appreciate, because I play the piano.
Okay.
But just growing up and just listening to live, there's nothing better than hearing the horn section coming at you versus being recorded on a CD or something. It's so much different.
It's incredible. I absolutely love the fact that we've got live music, and you've got a lot of companies out there that are pulling back and scaling back on their entertainment, and that's publicly been announced. But yeah, for us, live music is key, and to see the talent and quality of the musicians that we get. I can't speak too much for Royal because I've never really been on their ships, but certainly Celebrity, the talent and the calibre that we have is fantastic, especially with the orchestra and backing the shows live. We don't get all of the shows; some of them are tracks, but the ones where we can,
right?
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, I've noticed as a whole, and just the whole entertainment industry, like would be a Broadway and everything else, there's been quite a bit of reduction in the amount of live performers. You see a lot of keyboards,
Yep.
you know, synthesizing the music, which
Yep.
kind of sucks, but it's nice when we can actually get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it happens. These things are, these things are coming thick and fast, and then they drop out and they come back. But I'm glad that we keep the live music for sure.
Yeah, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
What are some tips for a first-time cruiser traveling on Celebrity, and what's the best way for them to choose and plan their schedule?
Yeah, so best way to choose and plan the schedule would be by utilising the onboard app, in my opinion. We've got a daily planner which is delivered to the rooms every night from the housekeeping team, so you've got a paper hard copy. You've got the app as well, which is obviously straight on the phone. You can open that up, you can actually select your activities, put them into a calendar, set a reminder. It's going to beep at you to let you know that you've put it in there, so you don't really miss out on anything. You can also book restaurants, you can also book shore excursions through the app as well. But top tips would certainly be to get to the shore excursion desk as early as possible, or even look in advance on the app, because you can do that now with your booking. You can open up and actually log into the app and see what's happening and scheduled before you even embark. So you can look at excursions through that and book in advance. You can now book your beverage packages and Wi-Fi packages all through the app before even getting on board the ship. So that's certainly a top tip, to have a look and see what tickles your fancy in those areas. But to communicate with the team for anything that you need, I know the team on board with Celebrity are always going to do everything they can to enhance your vacation or holiday experience. So if there is something, never hesitate to communicate and let us know, because we're here for a reason, and that's to serve you and take care of you and make sure that you have a great time. We genuinely want that to happen, so please communicate. All the entertainment is mainly towards the middle of the ship and the front, and all the food is towards the back. So your Ocean View Cafe is at the back of the ship on deck 14. Your restaurants are on deck 3 and deck 4, but they're towards the middle to the back of the ship. Your specialty restaurants are middle to back of the ship. Your Cafe Al Baccio is right in the middle, and the only other one is the Sushi on 5 on this class of ship. But all the entertainment is generally towards the front, and it's almost the same with the Edge class, except for Eden, where you've got the entertainment also in Eden. And on the best thing about the Edge class ships is that you've got different shows on, just to touch base, you've got different shows on each of those ships. So Edge has its very own set of shows and has the Eden Acoustic Experience. On Apex, you've got a theatre production cast, but you've also got an Eden production cast. So it's different. You have performances there, and they also come in and perform in the club on Edge too. And it's the same with Beyond, and then it's going to be even different again with
Once again, a very good morning, Celebrity Equinox.
Ascent.
So my last question to you,
Yep.
speaking of shows, what is your favorite show or event?
It's so difficult because I have the opportunity to see so many. If I'm going to speak specifically about this ship, the Equinox, I'm going to say that my favourite show on here is Life. The cast performed it just last night for this particular cruise. But yeah, I absolutely love that performance. It really showcases a lot of their talent vocally with the acrobats, our aerialists, and of course our dancers. And there's a lot of different choreography styles in there, but they really come together, and I think they perform that show really well. I enjoy the song choices. I think it's got a nice storyline of taking us through different parts of life. So yeah, that'll be my favourite for this ship. And one of my favourite events is going to be the silent disco. Yeah.
Those are always
disco.
fun.
It's always great fun to see people just put a headset on, and you've got the choice of 3 different channels of music. You've got the volume control, so you can do it all yourself. But to have the opportunity to get in there and just dance, and you're watching people dance to all different types of music and just have fun, and they're all screaming at the top of their voices, but you haven't got a headset on, so it's a silent disco, but it's not so silent because the room is buzzing with energy from other people.
It's like silent disco meets karaoke.
Exactly, yeah. It's funny. Sometimes I walk in and don't even put a headset on. I'm just listening to what's going on in a lounge.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time.
Of course.
Your busy day. I know you guys have got a ton of stuff that you do throughout the day, so Thank you so much for taking the time to sit and chat with me.
Of course.
I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
And do you have an Instagram that the folks that are watching can follow you on?
Oh yeah, you can take a look at some of my TikTok stuff, which is Cruise Director Lewis, Lewis, or Instagram Cruise Director Lewis. So it's simple. It's both. But if you check out my Instagram, you'll be my TikTok, sorry, you'll also be able to see some of the things that happen behind the scenes on some of the ships. So whether it be a Solstice class ship or whether it be the Celebrity Edge, there's a lot of stuff on there if you want to check it out. Yeah.
Awesome. So again, guys, this is our cruise director on board the Celebrity Equinox, Lewis. Thank you again, and we'll talk to you guys in a bit.
Absolutely. Take care, everybody. Hope to see you soon.